Our investigation brings us to the smallest town in the country. Voices and noises are heard coming from inside this building. A former rector has been seen. A husband and wife that are buried in the graveyard wander this location. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fordwich Church. First of all, I'd like to say sorry if we're walking on your graves. There are lots of you buried inside this church.
At the moment, my back has gone freezing cold for some reason. I know I did say for someone to come and stand behind me, but...
A black shadow went right across that wall, up above the arch.
If there is anybody here by this sarcophagus or anywhere in the church, could you make yourself known for me, please? Your hairs are standing right up on end. What's up?
Yes, sir, yes,
Living
sir.
poison. Manufactured
Yes, sir,
record.
yes, sir.
Go.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Here we go.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Here we go.
It's like a light is in my face, but I can't fall for you. I close my eyes and drift away. I've overdosed on you. Cause then you wake up dead one day.
We travel to Fordwich. Fordwich town is the smallest town in the UK with a population of just 381. The focus of our investigation is Fordwich Church. The church dates from the Norman era. There are some Anglo-Saxon material in the nave. The chancel and north aisle were added in the 12th century. During the following century, the chancel was extended and the west tower was built. In the 14th century, the windows in the south wall of the church were inserted. Box pews were added in the interior in the 18th century, and the church was floored with tiles. The church closed in 1995 and was vested in the church's Conservation Trust on December the 5th, 1996. On each side of the east window are boards inscribed in the Ten Commandments and the Lord's Prayer. The stained glass in the east window dates from the 20th century. It was designed by Martin Travers and commemorates a rector of the church who died in 1931. The windows in the nave contain medieval stained glass depicting the coronation of the Virgin and Child, and the emblems of St. Mark and St. Luke. There are 3 hatchments in the church, 2 of them dating from the 17th century. It was the custom for these framed coats of arms to be hung outside the homes of the deceased for a period of time before being permanently displayed in the parish church. The single manual organ was made by G.M. Holditch and rebuilt in 1899 by Brown, formerly of St. Martin's Church. It was moved here in 1908. There is a ring of 4 bells. They were all cast by Joseph Hatch, one in 1624 and the other 3 in 1633. In the north aisle is a large block of limestone, carved to give the appearance of a tomb. It dates from around 1100 and is considered to be the former shrine of a saint. It is not known how long it had been inside the church, but it was removed from the church to Canterbury Cathedral in 1760 and returned to Fordwich in 1877. It is part of the shrine of St. Augustine of Canterbury. To the south of the church are several 18th century gravestones displaying the carvings of that period. A group to the west of the porch includes the headstones for Henry Brown, a Jurist who died in 1720, and his wife Elizabeth, who died in 1706, which has a skull and crossbones, symbolizing our human mortality. The paranormal reports of this location are noises, footsteps. A former rector of the church has been seen, and the limestone is said to give off energies, and voices are heard coming from the stone. As we are taking our daytime intro shots, I set up the camera to take a film of the shrine of St. Augustine. As I do so, I see a shadow figure move along the wall. I quickly turn on the camera and manage to capture the shadow figure as it moves along in front of the tomb. As darkness approaches, we secure the 2 main doors to the church and set up our static night vision cams. Static cam 1 is in the nave facing the chancel. Static cam 2 is next to the tower facing the nave. Static cam 3 is in the north aisle. Well, here we are at Fordwich Church. The town is, as I say, so small. It sort of surrounds this church, but I guess it's just a handful of little houses. There's a river just to that side. There's no street lighting. There's nothing like that whatsoever. And it is really, really quiet. Also, what we'll be investigating this evening is over on the other side is a limestone sarcophagus that's meant to be for the Saint Augustine. It was brought here from Canterbury, but it's said to give off strange energy, and people say that you can hear voices coming from the stone itself. So that's something that we'll be looking into a little bit later. If there are any spirits here, first of all, I'd like to say sorry if we're walking on your graves. There are lots of you buried inside this church. That's not out of disrespect. So if you can hear my voice, is it possible you can make a sound or shout out so we can hear you, please? Now it is said that a former rector is seen here.
Jeff?
Yeah?
This camera's gone really blurry, as if something has come and either stood in front of you or stood beside you, and it hasn't.
Is it going in and out of focus?
No, it's malfunctioning, man. Look, hang on. It's back now, but that was really strange. As soon as you started saying something, it like misted over, and I could see movement from behind you. But no, we're back to
Okay.
normal now.
So a former rector is said to be here, that has been seen, and we would like to know who it is. In the floor there is a grave of a rector, John Nichols, who died in 1714. The other is a George Tubbs, who died in 1931, and that's why that stained glass window there commemorates his service to this church. A black shadow went right across that wall, up above the arch. It was just like it was a huge black shadow just shot across. I see a black mass move high above one of the arches, which is not caught on the cameras, but as I am telling Mark what I have seen, a voice says, which is a sound that is made when considering or puzzling over something. Here is the audio taken from my digital recorder. A black shadow went right across that wall, up above the arch. It was just like it was a huge black shadow just shot across, up above the arch. It was just like it was a huge black shadow just shot across. Who was that? Can you please identify yourself? Please tell us your name.
This camera keeps going in and out of focus.
I've just seen it again.
Bizarre. As if something's surrounding you.
Okay, that's fine. I don't mind. That's twice. Up there along the wall, something black's moving. And it was just before you said that the camera's gone in and out of focus again. If you want to, you can come and join us. Please come down here and join us.
It's doing it again. What's that? What happened?
That made me jump.
What was it? Something caught my eye down there before you...
It was like...
Your hairs are standing right up on end.
Honestly, it was like, I've got static going through me. I heard like light feet or light shuffling coming right up behind me.
Strange.
I hear something move towards me, and when we review the audio, it sounds like clicking or footsteps. Here is the enhanced audio.
What's that? What happened?
That made me jump.
What was it? What's that? What happened?
That made me jump.
What was it?
Who are you, please? Can you tell us your name, please? I just heard someone talking. I hear a disembodied voice answering my question. I ask, "Can you tell us your name, please?" And a man's voice replies, saying, "Can't remember." Here is the audio enhanced. I just heard someone talking. We make our way over to the St. Augustine limestone, which is said to give off energy, and also voices are heard coming from within. We also have set up several devices. So we're sitting next to this limestone sarcophagus that's is meant to house the Saint Augustine, and the claims are that it gives off strange energy, and people have heard voices coming from the limestone. So we've set up a REM pod. We have a K2 meter, a digital recorder, and a paralight. The limestone sarcophagus was originally here in this church, and then it was taken to Canterbury Cathedral for quite some time, and then it was returned back here. Can you light up one of the devices that we've put next to the limestone? Or indeed, if you would like to speak, there's a recorder there that will hopefully pick up your voice so we can hear what you're saying. Can you do that for us, please? Can you confirm who you are, please? Can you tell us your name? The digital recorder next to the limestone of St. Augustine is capturing a voice. Some of the words seem to be in modern English and in old dialect. Here is the enhanced audio. Can you confirm who you are, please? Can you tell us your name? Can you confirm who you are, please? Can you tell us your name? With no more evidence captured during our session at the St. Augustine limestone, we made our way through the nave to the chancel.
I'd like to introduce myself. My name's Mark. I'm asking out for Henry Brown, whose headstone is placed outside, and he's laid to rest with his wife there, Elizabeth. Are either one of you here? Because there's been reports that you've been seen roaming this church in the grounds. Henry, are you seen walking around these grounds and in this church because of your love for the church when you were alive? Because you were quite well known in the town. Do you still come back and visit this church because it was a place where maybe you come with your wife and your family to take service? Now, if I am talking with Henry or his wife Elizabeth, you died a long time ago. Henry in 1720 and his wife Elizabeth in 1706. We think we may have caught the shadow of you earlier on, going across the wall behind Jeff. Could you maybe come next to me or go behind me so we can see you? It's very quiet at the moment, so if you do make a noise, it'll be really loud. Could you make a noise for us, please? At the moment, my back has gone freezing cold for some reason. I know I did say for someone to come and stand behind me, but can you hear stuff coming from at the back? Can I hear you making a noise at the back of the church?
Movement is heard coming from the back of the church, and the audio on our Static Cam 2 has captured the sound of footsteps. Here is the audio from Static Cam 2.
Can you hear stuff coming from at the back? Can I hear you making a noise at the back of the church? Can you hear stuff coming from at the back? Can I hear you making a noise at the back of the church?
I leave the building and Mark takes a seat back at the St. Augustine Stone for a solo session.
I'm now in Fordwich Church. I'm completely on my own doing a solo session by the sarcophagus. It's deadly quiet, excuse the pun, in here at the moment. I've got various gadgets and lights set up there because this sarcophagus is reported to give off strange energies because it's made of limestone, and voices have been heard emanating from it. If there is anybody here by this sarcophagus or anywhere in the church, could you make yourself known for me, please? Could you maybe make a noise for me and let me know which part of the church you're in? Maybe you could knock on something. There's lots of things to knock on. Knock on one of the wooden pews for me and let me know where you are in the church. It's pitch black in here, and the only light being given off is from the devices on the floor. So maybe if you walked in front of them, I could see your shadow. Or maybe along one of the walls where the light's being cast. I've introduced myself before. My name's Mark, and I'd really love to find out more about anybody who still comes back to this church to worship. And maybe if you tell me your name, we could have a look in the records and really find out who you were.
A loud noise, which sounds like a door slamming, comes from within the church. Here is the audio with enhancements. Mark ends his solo session and we fire up the SLS cam with 3D monitoring to see if we can map in any figures. We sweep the location several times but no figures were captured, so we pack up all of our equipment and end our investigation at Fordwich Church.